isn't that dessert for the eyes so lovely? Welcome back to Studio 5. You know, pressing flowers is an art that has been around for centuries. It's a simple way to preserve a flower's beauty a little bit longer. But recently, the application of pressed flowers has exploded, and we are seeing them everywhere. From wedding cakes to wall art, we are loving the versatility of pressed petals. And now you can create your own pressed flower art without even growing a garden. Lucas and Jennessa Cawley from Maivie are here to break down this popular pastime by sharing creative ways to use and display pressed flowers. Great to meet you both. Great to have you here. I think we all have sort of a soft place in our hearts for pressed flowers. I can recall a piece in my grandma's home, a piece in my mom's home, and granted the style, the aesthetic has evolved and been modernized, but it's a way to memorialize flowers that are special to us. You two have a story. It's a business that began from a need to press your own flowers, is that right?
Yes, so Luke and I got married last year, and I wanted to get my wedding bouquet pressed. Unfortunately, at the time, it was out of our budget for our wedding, so I started pressing my own flowers, and I thought, this is so much fun. Like, I love this. And then Maivie was kind of born through that.
Where you teach others to do that?
Yes.
Why do you think, Lucas, I'll ask you this, why do you think pressed flowers has surged again in popularity? Because there was a pause there for a minute where people weren't as into it, but now young, cute, trendy brides like your wife are really on board.
Yeah, I think three things. So I think first is that they're beautiful.
Yes.
So like there's the obvious elephant in the room.
Yeah.
I think the second thing is to give a nod to the wedding market. So I think that popularized it. I think over the last few years, it's been in the zeitgeist, it's been on social media. And then I think the third thing is what we wanted to do is create a workshop where everybody had accessibility to it. Mm-hmm. So you don't have to grow them in your home. You don't have to go through that process. You just come in, you make a piece of art. So we've seen, maybe 5,000 people come through, and wow. I think it's impossible to mess it up. So like there's that aspect too. So it's beautiful, and I think it's just been kind of rolling through again.
We're seeing a variety of projects you've helped women create in your workshop, and flowers by themselves are beautiful, but they take on a different form when pressed. Mm-hmm. How would you describe the change that happens?
You know, when a flower is pressed, a lot of times the color will change a little bit. So a red might become more of a purple, but regardless of this change, they are so gorgeous, and I think it just enhances their beauty. When
you do encase these in glass, how long can they realistically last?
Yeah, I think the short answer is with proper care, I always give that asterisk, decades. So they can last a long, long time.
What ways do you two like to use pressed flowers? You've seen it all, you teach a lot of it. What are your favorite ways to incorporate them?
I like to make art.
Yeah.
I think it's the best thing.
Obviously, there's the art within a typical, art frame, if you will, and that's something that we specialize in. But I think you noted up front, we obviously can put them on candles. You can put them in jewelry. So there's a lot of applications. Obviously, we've tried to go down the frame route, and that's been a lot of fun. But I think in the future, there's things on the table.
There's room for expansion, but you're right. An art piece like that, it tells a story, right? In your case, a wedding story, but flowers show up in so many meaningful points of our lives, I think, from funerals to anniversaries, that it's a fun stamp to put on your wall.
It's so sentimental, and I think even like people come to a workshop just for a fun night out, and then they have this piece hanging on their wall, and every time they walk past it, they remember like, oh my goodness, I had so much fun with my mom and my sisters, and just all of the mememories of creating that. So I think it can be so sentimental in many different ways.
They feel something, right?
They do.
They feel a memory. Yeah. Okay, you've brought some beautiful samples to the studio. Let's walk, and you two can show us kind of the creation of this, what this is like, what this entails. And do any flowers work for this type of a project?
Oh, any flowers work for this.
Okay.
Yes.
Get on in there.
What do we have here?
We have some pressed flowers out. We have some daisies and some eucalyptus, a lot of different things. But I'll let you help me actually.
Okay, sure.
Okay. So what we're doing is we're just taking flowers and we're placing them on our canvas.
Okay.
And there's really no wrong way to do it. So you can just start placing things.
People say that.
I know.
People say that.
I love to start with like some really bright colors, maybe some greenery.
Okay.
And I feel like the greenery can really ground it too.
And are these flowers, when they come to the workshop, pressed in advance, obviously?
We have them pressed in advance, so when people come to our workshop, They know they've got everything they need to be successful.
Yeah.
So there's nothing on their end that they need to do.
And this becomes kind of, I imagine, an artistic playground, even for the non-artists like
does.
myself, where you can kind of just see what feels good to you.
Yeah, totally. And it just comes together. Like, regardless of what you do,
Yeah.
you're going to create something that you love. by
Is
the
layering
end.
an issue? How many can you stack?
Layering is not an issue. You can do exactly what you feel like you need and just kind of what speaks to you.
Okay. And do you like them spread out? Do you like them clumped?
I mean, you can see on this grid over here, they're
Oh, wow.
very spread out, whereas on this green mat, they're very clumped together.
Oh, they can get
and
busy and
overlap.
still be
so
beautiful.
It's like, it really just your own style, and I think it's awesome because it's a great way to express who you are as a person and what you really like.
I'm actually surprised. I mean, that is very busy and full and compacted, but it still is lovely and sophisticated.
Oh my goodness,
and
I love
beautiful.
that one. It holds a special place in my heart.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, what's the process after this?
So after this, when we're in our workshop, we have professional glue and materials to help you make your piece really stand out. So you would go ahead and glue your materials, and what we do in Shop is we also frame everything for you. So you can see a lot of different options of like sizes and surfaces to make it your own. And we framed up for you so you have a piece of art that you're ready to take home and hang on your wall.
They're beautiful. It sounds like a really fun idea, and I think it's neat to see how this trend has reemerged again in modern and beautiful ways. Where can we get more information about your workshops?
You know what? You can find us on Instagram and TikTok at Shop Maivie, and our website is shopmaivie.com.
All right, you two, thanks for showing us the artfulness and the beauty of pressed flowers as they're back again. We appreciate it. Nice to have you.
so much.
Thank you.